Welcome all onwatchers to DLIT Learning. I hope we will make some great progress today. I have chosen a very important thing to deconfuse you about all the grammar words. What is that? A sentence. Remember that all sentences have kind of a finalizer here, an end, a period. That is a sentence. Isn't it beautiful? It's my favorite sentence. If we used it more often, the world would be a better place. We had a sentence. What do we have now? A word. So, my dear students, 2 words for you to learn is sentence and word. Whenever we talk about grammar, we can distinguish, are we talking about a word or are we talking about a sentence? That is one of the big confusing things. So let's look at my favorite word, love, and let's put my favorite sentence there. I love you. So you would not believe how many different grammar terms we can use and present and teach you with these few words and a sentence. So you must have heard parts of speech. Okay? Parts of speech. And you must have heard of subject, verb, and object. Many have issues with these 2 lists. Yeah, we have one list is the part of speech, which are namely noun. I should write them: noun, verb, adjective, pronoun, exclamation, determiner, preposition. Maybe I take the adverb there as well. These are all parts of speech. So when we look at a language, we use it in sentences. So, but words are important to learn as well. Only to show you the Bible of that, if I may step out. Okay. Is this a book of words or a book of sentences? You decide. It is whatever you want it to be. There are headwords in it, so mainly it's about words, but there are many example sentences in the dictionary as well. I would like to help you a bit. So we have here in the right sentence here, we have, sorry, I forgot the full stop. We have 3 functions: the subject, the verb, and the object. This is a very easy sentence, and we can make it even so more difficult, but it's always the same structure in normal sentences. So even if I make a very difficult sentence, Sorry. So this is a sentence like the sentence above, and we have each part of the sentence is given here as it is here. Here we have only one word being the subject, but here it's a gerund. The subject is a gerund. The whole term going on holiday is the subject. Is still the verb, and great fun is the object. So that I show you for the reasons of distinguishing when we analyze a sentence or when we analyze a word. Now, before I stop this part here, I want to have a look at love. In this case, love is used as a verb. But we should all know, if you look at the love, at the word, it could also be a noun. So love, like it is here, can't be just a noun or a verb. We don't know what it is, yeah? We have to see it in a sentence. Right here, we see that love is a verb. Love can be, when it changed a bit, it can become another word of part of speech. Loving. Do you know loving? Have you ever heard loving? We don't use it as a verb in the present participle, so it is not a verb like this. What is it? Can you tell me? It's an adjective. What a loving father you have. He cares for you very, very well. So that brings me to the next topic, which I will show you in a minute, but for now I repeat what I showed you. Please don't ever mix up parts of speech and parts of a sentence. These are parts of a sentence. And remember my favorite word and my favorite sentence. Okay, I used love and loving, so I have this little picture for you. What is that? 3 people making it a family. Okay, symbol for family. We all live in families, or some family brought us to the world. So there are also word families. So love is maybe not the best example, but I'll give another example as well. But here we have a word family. If we learn a word, many times its family members are close to their brothers and sisters in meaning. So if I learn the verb love, I believe it is also great to start learning how to use the noun love. And now a very important tip from me for you to learn as a learner of a language is learn a language in sentences. There's a different approach in other languages where we don't have to make sentences, but in English we make sentences usually to make sense to make sure we understand each other. So, even if we analyze sometimes in words, I always want you to study, I would prefer you to study in sentences. So, we had as a verb before, I love you, but it's easier to make a more difficult example sentence. I love eating at MK. MK is a restaurant in Thailand. However, here we use it as a verb. However, as a noun, my father's love is so important to me. My father's love is so important to me. So you have the love as a noun. Now, we are at the very beginning of our grammar words, so I don't go into analyzing these sentences just yet. But what I want to teach you is word families. So I think that if you go to a dictionary, not all the word family members are always close together, but here we do have them close together. And that is what I think you save yourself a long time. We have adjective and another adjective. I will give you some examples. What a loving father you have. Sorry. Loving gives more detail to the father. He's a caring father. He's a warm father. He's also friendly to others. What a loving father you have. What a caring father you have. The adjective gives more information to the noun, which is father. And lovely is another adjective, which is not used for people, but for things. So, what a lovely flower. Look. Okay? Then I give you two adjectives. The more common is lovingly. Adverb and lovelily, which is not that often used. So, and you see that lovingly comes more from loving, and lovelily comes more from lovely. So, I think I will not mention this. This is just used in an American dictionary, I've seen it, but it's not that widely used in spoken language. So, the full stop shows you that I use this word here. So this room was decorated lovingly. Now we don't have a noun next to it which is described as in the adjective. No, we use it to describe the verb. Verb. So we have an adverb which goes into explaining how this room was decorated. It was decorated with love. This room was decorated using love. It describes the verb and not the noun. That's the difference between adverb and adjective. But remember that the focus, what I'm telling you now, is on word families to a certain extent. Don't just learn one part of speech like I love you. Learn the noun with it so you can save yourself a lot of memory by connecting all words in a word family. I should give you an example why distinguishing parts of speech is very important. I can use one word to describe both. And it's not even a different part of speech. What is this? That is a chair. Everybody can see that. But can you see that this is a chair? It can be. Look it up in a dictionary. That's where you learn the most. We talk about a chair person when a person is in charge of a meeting or in charge of a certain settings. Then it's he is or she is the chair. Everybody knows this chair, but we still don't know that chair. So there's another thing. If you know chair and you are bored by chair, go to the dictionary, look it up, what else it can mean. Another example. Go. Many would say go is a physical movement, and most times it is correct. We go to the mall, we can go shopping, go out, or go and talk to him. So go is many times something with physical movement. But what if I say, what does go have to do with this picture? You can go mad. If you go mad, you lose your senses. Going mad is not only a bad thing. If you see Got7 or Super Junior or Girls' Generation, it's okay to go mad. What I want you to really think of is if you hear somebody go to the mall, it's normal for you, yeah? Everybody has heard that. Yeah, he's going to the mall. Have you ever heard go mad? You haven't? That doesn't mean that people use it less. In England, or in America, people go mad all the time for good or bad reasons, and I don't want you to be startled if you hear go not as a physical movement, but as in some other kind of idiom or phrasal verb or other kind of language chunk which we use. That was just another tip for you to not only connect a word, any word, with its first meaning. Which brings me to the next step in my lesson, which is meanings. Okay? Dear students, I don't want to scare you, but it is scary. Have you seen the title? Tenses. Every student's scare. It was mine when I studied. One question, however, is answered here in this question. There are different opinions about how many tenses are there in the English language. Here it says 12. That sounds like so many. However, when we zoom out, it becomes a square or a table, which hopefully makes much more sense than just throwing them each individual at you. So I want to give you the concept of English tenses, and many things is mixed or misunderstood or blown up. We shall, as a good English speaker, we shall know about all these tenses, but most used are probably 4. But all this brushed apart, I want to make sense of it. So, we have, even if we have 12 tenses, what is 12? How much is 12? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. There we go with 12 tenses. If somebody says there are 13, they probably think of used to as a tense, which is not right or wrong. So used to is not mentioned here, and the going to future is also not mentioned here. Going to and will are both future tenses. So now, in order to structure this table, we have 3 different times. Just always remember, ask yourself, when did it happen? Or when is it happening? Did it happen in the past? Is it happening now? Or is it happening in the future? These are the 3 times. The 3 times. Now we have 4 concepts of tenses. The concepts are here to the left. Simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. These are the concepts of these tenses. And wherever we go on this grid, we have another tense. What is not here in this sheet is a form. There is no form, but we have beautifully example sentence of each tense. I will not go into each little box and explain each and every tense. However, I will go that far. What I explained to you before, we have an example, and these are usages. Usages. The usage is a combination of a concept and a time. Here we have the time, and here we have the concept of the tenses. So the combination of those two becomes a usage. Maybe I show you one usage as a representative of the other ones. I am teaching about tenses. I am teaching about tenses is the present continuous sentence. When do we use the present continuous tense? I am teaching about tenses. to indicate an action going on at the time of speaking. But do you see that are two more usages there? And everybody, if you have studied English for some time, you must have seen that if we have a habit, we use present continuous as well. So, let me give you an example which is not covered by this example sentence. That's why I don't like this overview here. It's a very, very good overview for the usages. All the usages are given here, and the form is kind of given to you by the examples. However, I don't like the examples because the examples should be different for each usage. So I've given you another example about me teaching at the moment, at the very moment. And we use present continuous for a habit. So I am going to school by motorcycle is a habitual action which I do every day, and I repeat it uncounted times. So I'm going to school by motorcycle. This is a habit, and it is a complete different usage from the first one. Another usage of present continuous is to indicate temporary action which may not be happening at the time of speaking. I'm studying Thai. I'm not doing that at the moment, but I am doing it for a temporary amount of time. Let's say I have a Thai course for the next 3 months. So I'm studying Thai at the moment for another 2 months. This is the third usage of the present continuous tense. I have now explained only one box, and as I'm only explaining how we use grammar words to talk about grammar, that shall be enough for now. I will give you that overview. That is not my overview, I didn't do it, but I think it is public domain. There are many copies over the internet. I will give you the link to that. And now we are looking at a more sophisticated sheet. Okay, we talked about parts of speech before, and one of the most important parts of speech as well, because we use them probably the most, are pronouns. Pronouns can be quite confusing or are confusing for many learners. First, I will give you the foremost reason why we use pronouns. Let's look at this paragraph. Some of you have read it already. I will read for you. Mr. Rolf is our English teacher. Mr. Rolf isn't beautiful, but Mr. Rolf is very smart. This is Mr. Rolf's classroom. Can you give this to Mr. Rolf? Whether I love my name very much or somebody else does, but using Mr. Rolf all the time, more than once, is just not nice. It doesn't read nicely. It's repetition over and over again. So instead of Mr. Rolf, we can use pronouns. Therefore, I show you that there are different pronouns. If it is in the beginning of the sentence, it is rather a subject, so we use a subject pronoun. He is our English teacher. He isn't beautiful, but he is very smart. Mr. Rolf is not only he all the time. No. This is his classroom. Can you give this to him? Mr. Rolf can be changed into all of the pronouns. Now let me show you a list of pronouns. So, these are all pronouns in a list. And let me stress that there is one word here which is not a pronoun. It's an adjective. So adjectives need another noun. That's the only exception in this list. The rest is all pronouns. So we have talked about my favorite sentence, yeah? I love you. Why do I say I love you and not I love you? Because the second you is an object. Mr. Ralph loves his mother. Mr. Ralph, in this case it can be he loves his mother, her. So, whenever we exchange a subject, we use the subject pronoun. Whenever we exchange the name of an object with a pronoun, we use the object pronoun. So, the easiest sentence to practice that is with give. This is a piece of plastic. I'll teach you how to make sentences with all these pronouns. Once you've practiced making sentences with all these pronouns, you should be fine. This is a piece of plastic. I have a piece of plastic. I don't like it anymore. I want to give this piece of plastic to you. Okay, here, take the piece of plastic. Here it is. It's yours now. It's yours now. It's yours now. Oh, I want it back. Please give the piece of plastic to me because it is my plastic. It is mine. I bought it myself. Okay, let us do this again. You can do it with dog, plastic, computer, whatever. So, this is a computer. I have a computer. Give the computer to me. It is my computer. It is mine. I bought the computer myself. So now I explain to you what I just did. Okay? I exchanged my name, Ralph. Ralph has a computer with I. I have a computer. If I need the object, if Mr. Ralph is in the back, say, give this computer to Mr. Ralph. Give it back to Mr. Ralph. Give it back to me. This is Mr. Ralph's computer. This is the only adjective. So remember, an adjective needs a noun together. Beautiful woman, handsome man. Always needs a partner, an adjective. Not always. There's an exception when we use the verb to be. I am handsome. He is handsome. So, we are here with the only adjective which we need a subject. This is my computer. Compare it with the pronoun which doesn't need a noun. It is mine. It is mine. No computer needed. It is my computer. It is mine. The word computer is already in the pronoun. I bought it myself. The self-reflexive pronoun we always use if the subject pronoun and the object pronoun is the same person. Did you do the homework yourselves? Did you do the homework yourselves? Did you, which is the subject, do your homework yourselves, which is the object? So I repeated the whole structure, what I want you to learn, and repeat with, let's say, she. She has a doll. It is her doll. Give it back to her. It's hers. She bought the doll herself. Please do it yourselves now. Repeat just the sentence I said. Are you finished? I repeat it again. She has a doll. It is her doll. Give it back to no, give her doll to her, actually. And it's hers. She bought the doll herself. You can practice that with any other pronoun. This is my list of pronouns, and for the beginning, it is okay to start with subject and object pronouns and with the possessive adjective, with a noun. My house, your car. My teacher, your teacher. So for beginners, we need only the first 3 columns, so only the subject and object pronoun and 1 adjective. It's not that difficult, is it?